Hello, in this video we will see how to pull the 5 number summary statistics on a given quantitative variable. When we say 5 number summary statistics, it would mean the minimum, the maximum, median, first quartile and second quartile. For illustration purpose, we would consider the scores of 9 students in physics. And so let us try to pull the 5 number summary statistics on these scores. So we will go ahead and open R. Okay, in R we will create the object score. Okay, we have the scores um, as 78, 93, 68, 84, 90, 74, 64, 55 and 80. Let's go ahead and sort these scores by using the sort function on scores. Okay, um, we can see after sorting that 55 is the minimum score, while 93 is the maximum score and 78 is the median or the middle score. Median is basically uh, uh, the the observation which is halfway from the first to last observation, and the way we calculate this is in our uh, uh, consider this as we have 9 scores, and from the first score we go halfway along, and so we get fifth position. So whatever score we have on the fifth position is the median, and in this case we have the score median score as 78, which is the middle score. Median cuts the data into two halves. Half of the observation are less than the median and half of the observations are having the values more than the median. Next, we have two other summary statistics, which are quartiles, and the two most important quartiles we have is the 25th quartile and the 75th quartile. So what basically a quartile is? The nth quartile of a sample is the value that cuts the first n% of the data values when the data is in sorted order. 25th quartile would mean that 25% of the values are less than the 25th uh, quartile value. So it is basically 1/4 way along the first observation to the last observation. It divides the sample data in such a way that the 25% of the values are less than the first quartile and 75% of the values are more than the first quartile. Similarly, we have the third quartile, which is 75th quartile. It's 3/4 way along the way from the first observation to the last observation. It divides the sample data in such a way that 75% of the values are less than the third quartile and 25% values are more than the third quartile. And so in this case, if we do the calculation as per the definition, the first quartile is 1/4 the way along. So from the first position, we calculate the 1/4, and we will get the third position. That would mean that 68 is the first quartile, and which would also mean that 25%, which is these two values, are less than 68, and the rest of the values, which is 75% of the values, would be more than 68. We can also see how we have calculated in our the third quartile. And so from first position, if we calculate 3/4 way along, it would come to seventh position, and in this case 84 is the third quartile. So we saw that we have the minimum score as 55, maximum score as 93, the median as 78, the first quartile 68, and the third quartile as 84. It was pretty easy because we had 9 scores. What if we have a big data set and big sample where we cannot just calculate by hand? So in R we have functions which we could use to pull out these statistics. So to find out the minimum, we will use min function on scores, which would give us the minimum value or the minimum score. So 55 is the minimum score. We can get the maximum score or the maximum value by calling max function on scores. Okay, so we got 93 as the maximum score in this set of scores. To find out the median, we would call the median function on scores. 78 is the median score. This is what we calculated by hand. To find out quantiles, there are multiple ways to do that. We can call the quantile function on scores. This would give us all the quantiles: the 0th, 25th quartile, 50th quartile, 75th quartile, or the 100th quartile. Notice that the 50th quartile is nothing but the median. The 0th quartile is the minimum value, and the 100th quartile is the maximum value. And here we have the 25th, which we saw earlier was the first quartile, and 75th quartile is nothing but the third quartile, which we saw earlier. Now when we use the quantile function, it gives all the quartiles. In case we are interested specifically on a particular quartile, say for example I'm just interested in the 25th quartile, what I would do is I will give as quantile on scores 0.25. so it would just give me a particular quartile I'm interested in. Similar fashion, you can go for the nth quartile by specifying the nth quartile here. Say I want 2 quartiles. I want the first quartile, which is 0.25, and also I want the third quartile, which is 0.75. Okay, I can specify the the nth quartiles which I need as combination using the C function, and it would give me both the quartiles I was interested in. Another way to get the summary statistics is using fivenum on scores, and this gives us exactly the statistics which we calculated above using the mean, max, median, and quantile functions. So this is the minimum score, this is the maximum score. We have a first quartile here, the median, and the third quartile. We can also use summary function on scores. This will also give the same statistics we got above. The only addition is here, in addition to the five number summary statistics, we also get the mean. And mean is basically the average of the scores, the sum total divided by the total number of scores, and that's how we get the mean. We saw a couple of functions in R which could be which could be useful in pulling out the five number summary statistics. Now let's go ahead and do some kind of visualization using boxplot. So here we have the box plot, and basically this is nothing but the RMD file which I created for this particular five number summary statistics. I will paste the link in the summary section, and I have plotted the box plot here, which shows the minimum, the maximum, median, and the quartiles. So this is the minimum. I have shown here with the blue line here. This is the minimum. The yellow line you see is this point is the maximum. In the middle of the box, we see here this line which is shown as green is the median or median score, or the middle value. And the extremes of this box is here, the box. The lower one is the first quartile, the one shown in the red here, and the upper red is basically the upper the third quartile. And so we can use the box plot function on scores to plot this. What I have done is here I have used the power function. I defined here that I wanted the two graphs. Basically the graph is same here. The only difference is that in the first one it's just a box plot, and the second one I have shown the colored lines in it, but basically it's the same box plot. So how would we get this box plot in R? We will call the box plot function on scores, and it will give us the box plot.